And we are off to the races. Okay, I'm white. First game. I'm opening with knight f3. I'm just going to kind of feel him out in the openings. Jan is pretty classical. I mean, he plays pretty close to the vest with both colors. And if I can get some playable positions out of the opening, I'll be happy. Just going into the middle game, I'll be completely pleased with the positions. So, okay, let's castle here. If he plays knight c6, I'll probably play d4. Yeah, let's go d4. See if he wants to transpose into maybe a reversed Grunfeld, something of that nature. Yeah, I'll take and play c4. I'll try to put some pressure on his center. Okay, so here I can play knight c3 or queen a4. I have a feeling knight c3 is the move, so let's do that. So this is a true reverse Grunfeld, so an extra tempo for white. But I have not played this position before. Maybe one time I've played it. But it's been a while, so... Okay, here I think I'm going to play queen a4 and try to put pressure on d5 a little indirectly. Okay, so he defends with that move. Makes a lot of sense. So if I trade, take on d7, he can take with his king at the end. But then his king seems a little awkwardly placed, does it not? So maybe I can do this and look for an endgame. So if king takes, I feel like rook d1 and pile up on this pinned pawn. And he's just going to give that pawn. Interesting decision. So maybe I can avoid taking it for now. I'm thinking about stuff like bishop g5. I can take d5, but I kind of see his point. I think he's going to trade everything, play king e6 at the end, and claim that he has some compensation. Is that really true, though? So if I play bishop g5, what about knight g4? That's one move that kind of concerns me here. I could play h3, but it seems a little slow. Not bad, though. Okay, let's do this. I'm not taking the pawn on d5. I don't want to cede the initiative. I have a feeling if there were all those trades, the king comes out, and he's going to have some comp because I'm underdeveloped. My dark square bishop and my rook. So I'm trying to prepare bishop g5 here, pressure the knight, get at d5. Thank you to those who are taking time out of their schedule to tune in. I know this is not exactly the most convenient time for US viewers in particular. And I appreciate everyone who is tuning in around the world. I've mentioned this before, but that's what I love about chess. The fact that it's just such an international game. And maybe a little bit later, or even now, put in the chat where you're tuning in from. Where do you live? Because I have a lot of American and European viewers, but I don't want to count out other people from different parts of the world too. Like, for instance, Squash Addict. If you're out there, Squash Addict from Australia, he's very faithful. He always tunes in. And probably for an Australian, some of these stream times are at really weird hours. Okay, Jan's thinking here a long time. So bishop g5. I guess I'm going to do that. And he quickly plays that. Makes sense. So if I take, play knight e4, he has to go bishop e7. That seems to be okay. So maybe I should play e3 instead? But e3, e3 I'm not so certain about. Maybe I can take, and then play knight e4 and e3. Could also play knight e4 right here, but... Decisions. If I play e3 now, king e8, let's say take f6, pawn takes, knight e4, he might be able to take on e3. Yeah, I don't know about that. Not quite sure about that one. Take, knight d5 is also an option. Albeit a strange-looking one. No, I'm taking a little bit of time here, but I want to get this right. Yeah, very tough to say. Take knight d5 is quite interesting. I think I'm going to do that. So, an unusual maneuver. I'm, in some respects, worried that my knight will get stuck here, but I am attacking the f6 pawn. That's my hope. But I wonder if he could play f5 and just dare me to go take his h-pawn, because probably I shouldn't go take the h-pawn. Maybe if f5 I can play b4? Or f4 doesn't look so good.
If he goes b4 or a move like that,
b4 is interesting.
I can drop back all the way to f8. He could play something like knight f6 and knight takes h7, but that does strike me as excessively greedy.
If he retreats the bishop all the way to, say, f8, I might play e3 then, I'm thinking.
Curious what he wants after bishop f8. Probably something like f4, trying to break up the center. But I thought I can then play king d6, target this knight, and if king takes e5, my king might look a little funny in the middle of the board.
Check, followed by take h7. Greedy, very greedy.
I could just have taken on d5 and then bishop takes b4, but that didn't look as ambitious. And since he's down a bit on the clock, I'm trying to keep matters a bit more complicated here. Which I might very well regret.
Let's try it.
Here we go, that's the line I was talking about.
I don't want to fall into a prospectless position, so I'm trying to use my pawn breaks aggressively. e4 in reply. Okay, let's come here.
Oh, he goes knight f6, interesting.
Trying to tear down his structure. Also, maybe win his h-pawn if I can. Problem is I have 55 seconds.
Ask this knight where it intends to go. If he takes on h7, the knight could very well get caught there after something like f6. So that looks risky.
Okay, I'm going to do this and then bring the knight back to h5 and try to get it to f4 if I can.
Now I should be better. I can take this pawn. I don't really see all that much compensation for it.
Bishop c3 perhaps. I do have my knight coming to d3. That's a threat. Although I don't know if it's a big one.
Stop blundering knight forks. Note to self. So I'll start putting my pieces on covered squares, because I almost blundered knight to d3 there.
Maybe get rook b7 in if I can. My pawn on a2 is hanging, however.
I'll be greedy, true to my style.
Okay, get rook b7 in. I'm not gonna play knight d3 check quite yet.
Checkmate's happening to me. So I'll push my a pawn up the board and hope it can run.
Okay, now I'm gonna do it. Bring our rook over. Try to hit f5 maybe. g4 could come.
I don't like confusion. Don't confuse me, sir.
Somewhat scrambling for counterplay, though.
Wants to go g4. I'm not sure how concerned I should be about it, but I'm a little concerned, so I'm going to go bishop e6, g4. I'll probably let him take on f5.
Take on f5, bishop e4. That's the plan. Take that. Is he just going to ignore it? Play like bishop d5? Because if he takes bishop e4, it looks bad.
I feel like I've lost the thread a little bit. I should still be better, but not the smoothest conversion that mankind has ever seen, because now my king is on a bit of a funny square and he's starting to jump around, which I don't enjoy. And let's try to distract him by pinning and blundering knight g4 check.
This is a big turnaround, potentially.
Way to mess up the winning position.
And his a-pawn is strong, though, is the thing.
Game ain't over yet. I still have Mr. A-pawn.
We don't want to just lose it. Okay, let's bring this up. Very unclear position with no time for either of us, really.
Hoping for some tricks. Let's see if they work. That's my trick. Planning to give a check.
He wanted bishop d4. So I'm trying to stop his pawns here. Okay, very clever once again for him. I gotta go after him with checks here.
I am too slow.
Oh.
That's just sad, but kudos to him.
That was a complete swindle.